1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm having trouble trying to sleep. I'm counting sheep but running out. As time ticks by, still I try. No rest for cross-tops in my mind. On my own, here we go. My eyes feel like they're gonna bleed. Dried up and bulging out my skull. The mouth feels dry. My face is numb. Spun out and messed up in my room. On my own, here we go. On my own, here we go. My eyes feel like they're gonna bleed. Dried up and bulging out my skull. My mouth feels dry. My face feels numb. Messed up and spun out in my room. On my own, here we go. On my own, here we go. On my own, here we go. Yeah. On my own, here we go. Yeah. On my own, here we go. Hello everyone, we are going to be going over Brain Stew by Green Day today. The first thing that you need to know about this tune is that when the artist recorded this tune, they recorded with their guitar and the bass tuned down a half step. So they're not in what we call standard tuning, where you have E, A, D, G, B, E, Eddie, A, Dynamite, Goodbye Eddie. They have E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, and E flat. If you are not savvy enough with a tuner to get your guitar to go down a half step and be accurate, or if you're not savvy enough to tune your guitar by ear down a half step accurately, then you're going to need to go to YouTube and go to the search engine and search Brain Stew in standard tuning. That will give you a version that is in the tuning that you have on your guitar so that you can play along with Green Day. Rhythm is very important. Yes, I know as rockers, we normally don't worry about written music. However, rhythm is a big deal with rock and roll, and it is a huge element of why we enjoy the music. We bob our head and move around and dance. That is why, because most rockers have a really steady, fun rhythm to dance or headbang or play guitar with. So in order to get the most out of the rhythm, we're going to look at this from an academic standpoint. Here's what the music looks like. You can see that I'm counting this as a fast 4/4. I have 2 eighth notes on beat 1 of measure 1. I have an eighth note grouping on beat 1 of measure 2, an eighth note grouping on beat 1 of measure 3, and then measure 4 has an eighth note grouping on beat 1 and beat 3. I'm going to count and clap this at a slow tempo. Please try to follow along and learn to do this on your own at home. It will help internalize what it is that you're doing here with this tune and will help you to grow as a musician. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 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 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. You should get to the point to where you can do that on your own without the assistance of the video with confidence. Let's move on to learning to play this melody one note only to make it as easy as possible. So if we look at this on the 6th string, 5th fret, this is an A. 6th string 3rd fret with our first finger is a G. 6th string 2nd fret with our first finger is an F sharp. 6th string 1st fret is an F natural, and open 6th string is an E. The reason we're using only our first finger is because when we apply the power chords later, the first finger is the note that plays on each of those. So you might want to practice counting and playing this to begin with without the metronome just to see if you can get it. This will help your perspective of rhythm a lot if you can do this on your own without the assistance of the video or the assistance of the metronome first. I will demonstrate what I mean by that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 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 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so now let's practice this piece of music with the metronome to build up in tempo so that we can get to the performance tempo. My performance tempo for this piece of music is around 150. In order to teach you how to strategically use the metronome, we're going to start at 90 on the metronome, and we're going to go up by large increments. I'll go from 90 to 120 to 135 to 150. However, if you're struggling with this, you need to go up in smaller increments. If you start at 90 and it's comfortable, but you get to 120 and you can't do it, then you need to go back to 90 and go up by 5s or 10s and see if you can get to 120 or even further. Going in smaller increments over time is maybe tedious, but it will help you to improve faster if you go up in small increments. Here we are at 90. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's important to make sure that you get that second note as a short note. We call that staccato in music, where it stays short and it's not like this. Okay, that staccato note provides the rhythmic feel. When you hear it short, it adds more interest. And I mute with my left hand coming back to the A. So I go mute real quickly. The E, I mute it with my left hand. So let's move the metronome up to 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I forgot to mention that I'm using down up for this. You can also use down down if you want. I like down up because the up is a little quieter than the down and it provides musical interest to me. So let's move up to 135. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's move up to my performance tempo, which is 150. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. Okay, so I'm going to give you a performance of this just through verse 1 and add a little something when it gets intense. I'm going to show you an intense and fun way to play this, but I want you to hear it first so that you can see that it sounds cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm having trouble trying to sleep. Counting sheep but running out. As time ticks by, and still I try. One best for crosstops on my mind. On my own, here we go. All right, so that little intense part that I played, I guess, on the guitar is what I'm going to call it. So you've got a down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, 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 down, down. Okay? So the way that comes across rhythmically looks like this. We have 2 eighth note groupings. And in every measure except for the last one, we have 2 eighth note groupings and 2 quarter notes. We'll start out at 90 on the metronome and work our way up. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. All right, let's go up to 120. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, up to 135. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. Up to 150. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. All right, so let's take a look at the power chords that we're going to play. Each power chord shape has a bass note on the 6th string played by the 1st finger, and then the third finger is going to come up to the 5th string, skip a fret, go 2 frets up and fret that fret, and the pinky is going to sit right next to it on the 4th string. That power chord shape is the shape for all of the chords that we're using until we get to E and you have an open, so 0, 2, 2. Probably easiest just to bar those 2. Some students will play with 2 fingers like this. I think in the video I was playing it like that because we go from the F. That's the easiest movement for the left hand truly to make. It's the least amount of effort to get those 2 chords, but it may be more difficult than just doing that because you're having to move in a new way. Let's remember that this is an A power chord, this is a G power chord, this is an F sharp power chord, F power chord, and E power chord. Now when we're playing this along with the metronome, I no longer use upstrokes. I'm going to use all downstrokes. It'll be like that. Yes, that gets the nice energy. Yeah. Could really get a nice bitey kind of aggressive sound with those downstrokes. Plus they're even and they're consistent. That sounds still pretty good with upstrokes. So, not much difference. It actually sounds really good with both. So you can use both. I am going to use downstrokes while we're doing this with the metronome. So we're going to go from 90 to 120 to 135 to 150. If you struggle with any of these tempos, just go back and go up by smaller increments like 5s or 10s instead of 30s and 15s and 20s. We'll start out at 90 on the metronome and work our way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. This gives you an idea of what it should sound like. Now you should be able to line that up at home on the metronome without me. That way all you need to practice is the metronome. The metronome at 120. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time, last time. Up to 135. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. Now you can do this more on your own at home with the metronome. Remember, good strategy means that you choose correctly how large of a jump to make. We're going to go from 135 to 150. That may be too much for you. May need to go up by 5s or 10s. 150 on the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. With creating intensity with power chords or with chords in general when playing rhythm guitar, I use a technique of continuous motion in my right hand quite a bit. So it's continuously going and it's This is what the music looks like for what I just played on the guitar. We're going to have the 2/8 note groupings on beats 1 and 2, and then beat 3 is a half note. So that sounds like 1 and 2 and 3, 4. That is how the first 3 measures are. The last measure has the 8th note grouping on beat 1 and 2, and then quarter notes on 3 and 4. So that last measure sounds like 1 and 2 and 3, 4. That rhythm helps close the phrase. So you hear those 4 measures as a complete idea every time, because that last measure, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, completes the phrase or rhythmic idea that exists over these 4 measures. Let's count and clap this 4 measures before we play it on the guitar. It's going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 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 3, 4. Now you need to be able to get to where you can do that on your own with confidence. So now let's prepare to play this with the metronome. First thing you need to do is get used to just the continuous motion. What this is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and in the right hand. And counting 8th notes, because the down is the 1, 2, 3, 4, and the up is the and. So just get this motion going and make it smooth and comfortable. See if you can count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and with your hand. The next most simplest thing is just to take one of the bar chords. Let's take A, and let's just do A with 1 and 2 and 3, and then we're going to keep the continuous motion going, but we're only going to play 1 and 2 and 3, and 4 is going to be a rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 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 3, 4. Once you get that, you can start sliding it through the progression. Remember, the last measure of the progression has 2 quarter notes on 3, 4. Every other measure is exactly the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 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 3. One more time. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 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 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1. When you're doing the muted strums, we're going to make sure that beat 4 is a rest. Instead of just doing the continuous motion above the guitar, I'm going to actually hit the guitar and create some of those muted strums. So it'll sound like this. 1. It's really just playing the first 3 beats and then picking up your hand and letting the fingers rest gently on the strings for beat 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1. Hopefully you can see that my hand is just picking up and letting my right hand continue to play the rhythm with the continuous motion. When I play these exercises with a metronome, I'm going to play some of the exercise without the muted strings and some of the exercise with. If you're struggling to get the muted strings in, just play without the muted string strums and get that motion down. Once you get that down and it gets really comfortable, then adding the muted strings won't be as much trouble. Here we are on the metronome at 90. 1, 2, 3, 4. With muted strings. At 120 on the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. At 135 on the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. Good metronome strategy means going up at a pace that is good for your skill level. If going from 130 to 150 is too big of a jump, go back to 130 and go up by 5s or 10s until you can get to 150 and possibly beyond. At 150 on the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. Now, if I can do that, I can also I can do different coordinations like that. Once I get this going, all that other stuff starts coming out of your playing. It's just about accessing the rhythmic sort of center that you have and developing these little basic skills of moving your hand and keeping it going. That's continuous motion with the right hand. It's super useful and it's really great for you to learn how to do on any song. Let's take a look at the chords that I'm using in this version to bring out a little bit more harmonic substance so that, you know, just with one guitar and bass, it sounds more full. So the first chord is you've got the power chord, but then you're going to add your second finger to the 3rd string, 6th fret, and we're going to bar all the way across the 5th fret with our first finger. And the power chord, pinky, and 3rd finger are still the same. So that second finger added and the bar added, that gives us an A major chord. If we take that same shape and just lower it down 2 frets, that's a G major chord. Going down 1 fret and picking up my middle finger and barring, making sure this note in the bar comes out eventually. It may not at first if you're new to bar chords, but just getting that note in there will add a little extra color. Sometimes I will use my second finger to sort of push down on my first and provide a little extra strength. Then the same shape that we had for A major and G major, we're going to do for this first fret. We're going to do F major, and then we have our E major chord. It's important to memorize your chord names, so know that this is A major, G major, F sharp minor, F major, and E major. So if you got the continuous motion thing down with the power chords, get that going, then you can also do that with the chords. Now you just have more room to strum, so you have more options on where you want to hit the guitar. So what I'm doing there is sort of like a down-up motion continuously going, and I'll sometimes do the down-ups here, and then I'll sometimes come up and hit the higher strings. Sometimes I'll come back through the higher strings with an upstroke. Let's do that a little slower. Okay, so you could just simplify it and just do the exact same thing that you do with the power chords, but with the chords. All right, that pretty much covers it. That's the rhythm guitar for Green Day. Hope you guys enjoy learning Green Day and trying these different techniques on the guitar. On my own